Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 49 of the Whips and Whimsy podcast. My name is Zenith. My pronouns are they, them. I am so happy you are joining me here today. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about all the things I have been crafting on lately and everything that I have been reading. And fair warning, this is a very book-heavy episode. I expect more than half of what I'm about to record will be about books. So I hope you're ready for that. If not, if you're only here for crafting, that's totally fine. I will switch the screen when I talk about books so that none of the titles are backwards. So when you see that switch, you know that you're good to go. Or if you're only here for books, just fast forward until you see the reverse. And when you see the quilt on this side, you know we're locking in. So yeah, anyway, if any of that sounds good to you, go ahead, grab a snack, grab a drink, grab a craft. Let's settle in and hang out together. Today is Saturday, May the 9th. The heater is still on in my house, which is crazy. That's all I have to say about that. The heater is still running here in lovely Massachusetts. It's been kind of a good week, except for yesterday. Yesterday I was very sick. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but there will not be a pig parade for today's episode because I usually knit those on Friday before I start my next pair of socks, and I was not doing well yesterday. My stomach was just having a time, and so I did not get any pigs made. But this week was really fun. We had May the 4th, which we will talk about later. I am a huge Star Wars nerd, if you didn't know, so we will be talking lots about Star Wars later. And we also had Cinco de Mayo. So, of course, I made tacos on Cinco de Mayo and had a great time. And, yeah, it's been a good week. Anyway, let's dive into it. So, today on the agenda, I have one finished object. I have two works in progress. I have a yarn acquisition. It's a small one. Don't panic. I have a yarn acquisition. I have two books that I finished reading, one new currently reading book that I'm also going to talk about, and I went to the bookstore last week to shop for not myself, and of course I ended up with 5 books for myself, so I have those to share. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive on in, except what are we hydrating with today? I did not go to Dunks. I did not pick up coffee. I made myself a Bengal spice tea from Celestial Seasonings. It's basically a decaf chai, but with a lion on the box. I think it's a lion. It might be a tiger. It's still a little bit hot. I also have water, because water is life. Anyway, let's get into it. What did I finish? I finished my beatnik socks. These are a Felici colorway, and I used a mystery mini skein that I believe is Stroll, but don't quote me. I love these. I used my standard vanilla pattern. Well, I went slightly off from it. I did 15 rounds, 1x1 ribbing for the cuff, 30 rounds for the leg, slip stitch heel, regular foot, and square toe. 56 stitches on size 1.5, flexi flips. I don't know if I said that part. So, yeah, I'm happy that these are done. They will be gifted sometime this month. They will be gifted. Hopefully the person they're going to isn't watching this episode, but yeah. Anyway, I love them. I love working with Felici. I know Felici has been getting like a lot of flack lately for kind of dropping its quality a little bit. One, it's a commercial yarn. I just don't have high expectations of commercial yarn. Two, I only need a 50-gram ball of yarn for most of the people I'm making socks for. And I love the simplicity that I don't have to get out my ball winder. Well, my ball winder is always out. I don't need to get out my Swift. I don't need to like think thoughts about what to do with the leftovers. I love Felici. Anyway, that's the only finished object. I have 2 works in progress. The first one is the bane of my existence. I'm still not done with this thing. The pumpkin pie is where we were last time. I did 4 rows a day. And then when I finished my socks, I finished those on either Wednesday or Thursday morning. I don't remember. No, Wednesday. I finished them Wednesday night. And then all day on Thursday, I also worked on this. And again, it's like not that much. And it's driving me crazy. And I think I'm at the point where I'm just going to give her like a really awkward dimensions blanket because I cannot deal with this. I'm on the 5th ball of yarn. I have this much left in ball number 5. I am debating whether I want to crack into ball 6 at all. I have 8 of them, but I'm losing my mind. The baby shower is at the end of May, so I still have a couple more weeks, and I could just keep trucking, but I'm going a little bit crazy with how much work this one specific blanket has taken. And also now that it's bigger, I can tell that like if I had done one less repeat, like width-wise, it would make sense dimensions-wise. Like, it's too wide is the actual problem. But it's, like, too late to do anything about it. But, like, it would probably be done right now if it wasn't as wide either. So, that's my blanket. I'm using size 7 needles for that project, and I also am using Knit Picks Brava in the color Seraphim. That was one chosen by the baby's mom. So, yes. Anyway, that brings us into our next work in progress, which is in this bag my friend Kaylee made me. And I am lovingly referring to these as my peppermint bark socks. I've used this yarn before. I used it in a heel for one of my Summerly Sock Project socks. And I paired it with orange. But then as I was working it up, so the whole time I was like looking at this yarn as it was wound up, I was like, oh my god, that's like such a pumpkin spice color. And then as I was working it up, I was like, oh, there's a lot of like red and blue speckles in here. I'm going to hold it really close and hopefully you can see all of the colors. And not just like the orange and the, the orange and brown. So I was like, I really want to make the sock again, but use like red or blue for the heel. So I'm going to use Stroll Poppy for the heel. I think that's going to really pull out some of the more subtle colors in this yarn. I don't remember the name of this color. I know it's from Blue Barn Fiber. So I buy from her on Etsy. I'm really enjoying it. I cast this on yesterday. Yesterday I was not having a time, so I was a little bit on the struggle bus, and you can tell. I did 10 rounds of 1x1 ribbing, not twisted, and then I did, I think maybe 10 rounds over like this part was almost entirely over the course of a hockey game. So hockey games are like 3 hours, and that's, yeah. Anyway, also the Boston Fleet did not win. They have another game, but if they lose the next game, they're out of the playoffs. So no pressure to my girls or anything, but they need to win. And that's my works in progress. Yes. Oh yeah. Those are my socks are always 56 stitches, 10 rounds cuff. Yeah, I said that. Okay, we're gonna move on to some acquisitions. I ordered yarn from eBay for the very first time. So these yarns, it's, you're not gonna be able to tell, but they are actually still cold to the touch because they've been in my freezer. I'm sure that they're fine, but like I'm concerned there's gonna be bugs. And like I know that there's not gonna be bugs, but I'm like, I'm just gonna be really upset if there are. So anyway, I ordered some yarns off of the internet because I was watching 72 Stitches, and every time I watch 72 Stitches, there's like this one specific ball of yarn that usually sits right behind her shoulder, and every single time I'm like, I can't wait for her to knit that yarn. That yarn's so pretty. Oh my god, I can't wait for her to knit that yarn. That yarn's so pretty. And she finally did, and when she did, I figured out what yarn it was, and I was like, I can buy this. And she went on her show and she was like, this isn't available anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm going to find it on eBay. So I did. So these are the socks that 72 Stitches is currently knitting. It's the Opal Joy. I don't even remember the color. The color is 9981. And I love it. I love it. I can't wait to make socks with it. It's such a good green. Yes. And then because I was buying one, I was like, you know what? Let me add in some other ones from the same store. So I did. I got Regia Design Line in the color 03657, I guess. I got this because I thought it was going to be like denim blues and orange, and it's actually pinks, or not pink, red. So now it's giving patriotism, which is interesting in this day and age. Yeah, we'll see how it looks knit up, but yeah. And then the last one I got, I will probably make socks for my roommate with these because I think she'll freak out. This is Regia Cotton Color Tutti Frutti in the color 02417, which is papaya. It doesn't say that on the label, but I remember when I bought it, it said papaya. And these are very good colors for my roommate who is allergic to wool. So those are going to go back into the freezer after they thaw out a little bit. I should have put them in a bag because now they smell like our freezer. I did that to myself. There's not a whole lot of room in my freezer right now, so I just like stuck them in like where I could rather than sticking them in a bag and putting the bag in the freezer. But now they smell like spices. So yeah, I'm gonna take a little hydration break. Please feel welcome to hydrate with me. That tea is good. I'm almost out of my Bengal spice. I have one little packet left. And I'm debating whether I want to buy it again or maybe go for a different chai. And I have been feeling very mid about it, but this one I'm like, ooh, it's really nice. Anyway, that is all of my craft day stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and switch that screen and let's talk about things I have finished reading. One of them, you haven't heard about this book in a very long time. I finished The Starless Crown by James Rollins. This one was a chunker. It took a long time. It's a darker read than I thought it was going to be. It's just like the stakes were a little bit higher than I wanted them. And so I kind of took a break on it and didn't say anything and just kind of moved on to some other books. And then I was in the middle of reading Feast of Sorrow and was like, what if I finished reading this? And I did. And spoiler, I still haven't gotten back to Feast of Sorrow. I will, but I haven't done that yet. So yeah, the back of this book says, a daughter guided and cursed by prophecy, a thief freed by stealing a goddess, a soldier carving a trail back home, a prince who will never be king, who will claim the Starless Crown. Also, I'm quoted on the back of the book. In a past life, I worked in bookselling. This is the advanced reader's copy, and I was quoted on it. And I did not realize that until I started reading it again. Because when I read it the first time, I didn't finish the book. I sent the blurb unfinished because I was in the middle of moving. And I specifically said I haven't finished the book yet, but like, you can use this. And they did. And then they didn't tell me. So I didn't know. So yeah, that was The Starless Crown. It was good. There was a whole lot of stuff going on. The moon is crashing into the earth. There's a lot of politicking. There's like some secret societies doing really creepy things. Some of the creepy things they did were just absolutely horrific. Which I don't think I was prepared for, because usually my fantasy is on the cozier side, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is a lot. But it's really good. I am going to read the sequel, The Cradle of Ice, sometime this month. Not sure when, but it is like on my table, so it will get read this month. But yeah, Starless Crown. I finished that book, and I finished it on the 3rd. The next day was May the 4th, which is, of course, a very important holiday if you are a nerd like me. I am a nerd. So I was like, how am I going to celebrate May the 4th this year? And I had a couple of different options. I have 2 different Star Wars books on my Kindle that I've started and never finished because I don't really finish books on my Kindle. I just kind of buy them. And then I had some Star Wars books on my shelves. I also was like, I could watch Andor, my favorite show in the entire world. I could watch a couple episodes of that and then call it done. Or I could watch The Mandalorian, which I am technically still in the middle of watching. And I was like, I'm not feeling like crazy Star Wars-y right now. So I chose some Star Wars books off of my shelves. This one I'm still reading. This one I finished already. I started this one on May the 4th. This is part of the Han Solo trilogy. That's what I'm reading through right now. This is The Paradise Snare. What I like about this is, I don't think I've mentioned this in a while, but one of my goals for the year is to read through as many of the books that I owned before 2026 as possible to get some movement going in my bookcases. And these books were already on my bookcases. So I already finished The Paradise Snare. This series kind of goes through kind of like Han Solo's origin story kind of vibe. So this one was a lot of lore dumping about like where Han Solo came from and like how he grew up on the streets of Corellia and then like how he ends up getting off those streets and becoming a pilot. It's good. It is the opposite of The Starless Crown in that the stakes are very low. Like there's already a lot of plot armor where like we know that Han Solo's not going to die in this trilogy because he's in the movies. He wouldn't be in the movies if he got murdered on Corellia, right? So that said, they could have made the stakes a lot more intense than they did. They were very much like the big bads are still like weirdly benevolent and trusting and just, I don't know, it's whatever, it's fine. They're entertaining silly little books, so I've just changed my expectations to be like, this is going to be entertaining, and now I'm having a great time. So I'm not expecting too much out of them. But yeah, I would give this a solid 4 out of 5. It was good, it wasn't great. And then I started 2 days ago, The Hutt Gambit, which is the second book. Ow! Sorry, my cat scratched me on the palm of my hand yesterday. And I'm having a rough time. Anyway, this is The Hutt Gambit. This is the second book in the trilogy. I am reading it now. It is more, I like it more. I like it better. It is giving so much lore dump about Hutts, but the Hutts are my favorite alien species in Star Wars. I love them. They're just so slimy and ridiculous, and I just love them. So I'm having a great time reading about all of the Hutt clan wars and how they're figuring out their lives. And yeah. So when I finish this, I will immediately move to the third one, which I did not grab and pull over here, but I do have the third book in the series, which is Rebel Dawn. And I will be working on that as soon as I finish this one. And that will end up being 3 books off of my shelves that I have already read this year. Or that I needed to read and have. Yeah. Anyway, so that is good. And then, as I said, I was bad. I went to the bookstore. One of my friends had a birthday. And one of the things that we sometimes do is we'll buy each other a copy of one of our favorite books that we've read recently. And then we'll like write an inscription in the front and give it to each other. And it's great. And I love this. And so I was like, I'm going to buy a book that I've read for her, which I didn't realize at first. At first I was like, I'm just going to buy a book that I think that she'll like. And then I wasn't really coming up with good options when I went to the bookstore. I made a mistake, I think, because I went and I told the salesperson, my friend's favorite book is My Sister the Serial Killer. Can you recommend books based on that? And when I said that, the salesperson was like, thriller, suspense. Yes. And that's not actually what I meant. What I meant was like a book that is going to be drama on every single page. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Not necessarily serial killer, suspense, thriller, lives in danger, but more of just like, oh my god, what is happening? And I tried to like explain that, and the salesperson was again just like thriller, and I was like, I'm just gonna look for myself. And so I ended up getting my friend a copy of The Silver Arrow by, I think it's Lev Grossman is the author, but don't quote me on that. Which is a very cute book about a magical train being conducted by children. It's middle grade. And it goes to places where animals are endangered and it rescues them, and then they stay on the train. And they're like waiting for a better place, like a better environment to go to. But it's very cute and sweet. It's not like, oh, the world's ending. It's like, we can save the world. Very hopeful. I got that for her because I know she'll love it. In the meantime, because the salesperson had been recommending books to me, and because I like literally went through every case in the bookstore looking for books that I had read that I thought that my friend would like, I ended up with 5. So because I haven't read these, I'm not going to read the back of them. But I will show them to you and I will talk about why I bought them. So I got Dinah Jeffries, The Greek House. I first picked this up because I thought it was going to be like a really fun, like sorority, fraternity, secret society, crazy stuff happening, because I love that trope. Talk to me about Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake all day. I think that's the author. This is not. This is about a house in Greece. Then like there are like a lot of secrets and family drama, but I think it's literary fiction. But I haven't read literary fiction in a while, so I'm excited to read this whenever I actually get to it. I also picked up by Clemence Michelon, The Quiet Tenant. This is one of the books that was recommended for me to buy for my friend, and I was like, she is going to have an anxiety attack if she reads this book, but I'm going to read the crap out of it. So this is about a girl who like gets kidnapped and is held in the basement of this house by this guy, but then they move to like another house and she is still living with them, but she is still kidnapped. And I was like, I need to know. I really need to know. So I'm very excited. It came very highly recommended. The next book I got is one that I have had on my radar for over 5 years. In fact, I signed up for the newsletter for this author when this first book came out, and she now has like more than 5 books out. So the book we're talking about is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. Why am I holding it weird? This is a cozy mystery that is, it's somebody who cooks Filipino food. She is Filipino. And I'm just very excited to read this. I've seen it everywhere. I just never wanted to pay full price for it. I don't like paying full price for my cozy mysteries, but I don't have to. And for whatever reason, there's just always been other series like in the way. So I'm very excited to read this one. And if I like it, I will continue getting other books from the library probably, since that's what I do most of the time. And then the last book I got was a used book, The Deer and the Dragon by Piper C.J. And this is kind of like a dark romantasy book about the Norse gods. And it has sprayed edges, which I love. I got it used, which is even better. And I also, what I like about it is, I am a Norse heathen, and I'm just very fascinated to see how they take that and make it horny. So, me getting smited. We'll see how that goes. I might end up hate reading this. You never know. But I have questions that need answers. And the last thing I got was which I'm very excited. I saw this and I was like, well, I can't wait to talk about this on the show. Crafting for Sinners by Jenny Kiefer. And it's about like a woman who gets trapped in this like crafty thrift store that is also a cult, and she's trying to get out. And I was like, I have to. Boy howdy, do I need to read this book right now. So I actually got this for free. I got an advanced reader's copy. They were giving them out. If you got a purchase of a certain amount, you got one of these. And I was like, oh my God, like I just have to read this. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this one. And yes, I think that wraps up the entire episode for today. I have nothing else on my notes. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have some wonderful time to read, to knit, to crochet, whatever you're doing. Drink some tea or some coffee or your favorite beverage of choice. And yeah, I will see you next week, hopefully with some pigs. Okay, bye.